beginning of the drama, we are introduced to our female lead, Rose, who is running for her life because a group of thugs is chasing her through the streets. While trying to escape, she suddenly notices a beautiful girl standing in the middle of the road, casually changing clothes without caring who might be watching. Shocked, Rose blurts out, "Don't girls in this city have any shame? Who changes clothes in the middle of the street?" But a second later, she realizes that this isn't a girl at all. It's actually our male lead, Fang, who has disguised himself as a woman. Just then, the thugs chasing Rose arrive at the same place. With no other way to escape, she immediately grabs Fang and clings to him like glue, hoping the gangsters won't recognize her. Luckily, her plan works, and they leave without noticing her. However, before the two of them can relax, another group of thugs suddenly shows up. This time, they aren't after Rose, they're after Fang. To avoid getting caught, Fang also grabs Rose and hugs her tightly. During the struggle, they accidentally end up kissing each other. The unexpected kiss instantly makes Rose furious. She yells that today must be the unluckiest day of her life because some random, homeless-looking guy has just stolen her very first kiss. Now, you're probably wondering how Rose ended up in such a bizarre situation in a single day. To explain everything, the story goes back one day earlier. Now we finally get a proper introduction to Rose. At first glance, she looks incredibly beautiful, almost like a princess. But don't worry, the reason behind this glamorous appearance will soon become clear. Today is supposed to be the day of her wedding. She is about to marry a wealthy young man, yet she isn't happy at all. Unlike most girls who dream of luxury and riches, Rose has always dreamed of finding true love, just like the love story her parents once shared. She has never cared about living the extravagant lifestyle of rich people. Instead, she wants to live an ordinary, peaceful life with someone she truly loves. While getting ready for the wedding, Rose suddenly sees her parents standing before her. They smile warmly and congratulate her on her marriage, but Rose sadly tells them that she doesn't want this wedding to happen. At the same time, she admits she has no idea what she should do next. Her parents gently tell her that if she really wants the answers she's searching for, she must go to Menti College. They assure her that she'll find every answer there. Suddenly, Rose opens her eyes. It turns out everything was just a dream. In reality, her parents passed away many years ago, and the people she saw existed only in her dream. Standing beside her now is her closest friend, Xiao Yi, who has come to take her to the wedding. Soon, the wedding ceremony begins. As the groom slowly leans forward to kiss the bride, everyone is shocked to discover that the bride isn't Rose at all. It's Xiao Yi, who has disguised herself in her place. At the same moment, they spot the real Rose running away from the venue. After struggling through countless obstacles, she finally succeeds in escaping. However, her grandfather immediately blocks all of her bank cards, leaving her with only a small amount of cash. Using the little money she still has, Rose leaves the city and starts a new life somewhere far away. Meanwhile, her grandfather becomes extremely frustrated because no matter how hard his men search for her, they can't find any trace of Rose. After thinking carefully, he eventually realizes where she might have gone. On the other hand, Rose arrives in a completely new city and couldn't be happier. This is the very city where her parents' beautiful love story first began. Since she doesn't want anyone to recognize her, she completely changes her appearance. The elegant, beautiful young woman transforms herself into someone who looks plain and unattractive, making it almost impossible for anyone to identify her. After traveling for so long, Rose becomes incredibly hungry. She heads toward a small roadside food stall, hoping to buy something to eat. But just before reaching it, she accidentally bumps into a young man. Both of them drop their bags onto the ground. Since the bags look exactly the same, they unknowingly pick up the wrong ones and walk away. When Rose finally sits down to buy some food, she opens the bag to take out some money. That's when she realizes the terrible truth. The bag she's carrying isn't hers. To make matters worse, there isn't a single penny inside it. Completely broke and starving, she feels hopeless. Then she notices several beggars sitting along the roadside. Thinking she has no other option, she grabs an empty bowl and sits beside them to beg for money. Unfortunately, no one gives her anything because, despite her messy situation, she still doesn't look like a real beggar. One of the beggars looks at her and says, "You don't look poor enough. First, change your appearance. Then I'll teach you the proper art of begging." Hearing this, Rose is completely stunned. She never imagined that begging itself required skill. The old beggar then smears black soot all over her face, making her finally look like an actual homeless person. As Rose continues begging from place to place, she eventually arrives at a huge concert. This is where our male lead, Fang, officially makes his grand entrance. Fang isn't just any celebrity. He's one of the country's most famous pop stars. Besides being an incredible singer, he's also an outstanding dancer who easily captures everyone's attention. The moment Fang steps onto the stage and begins performing, Rose forgets all about her hunger and problems. She simply stands there, completely mesmerized by his performance. Sadly, her bad luck refuses to leave her alone. The bodyguards sent by her grandfather finally locate her and begin chasing her once again. Without wasting another second, Rose runs for her life. Meanwhile, after the concert ends, Fang prepares to head home. But outside the venue, several bodyguards sent by his father are already waiting for him. Today happens to be Fang's father's wedding, and they've come under strict orders to bring Fang there. Fang immediately refuses, saying he has absolutely no intention of attending. The bodyguards explain that his father specifically ordered them to drag him there by force if necessary. Hearing that, Fang calmly tells them to wait outside, pretending that he'll get ready. Of course, Fang has no intention of going anywhere near the wedding. Instead, he quickly disguises himself as a girl once again and quietly sneaks out of the building. Surprisingly, he looks so convincing that even his own manager fails to recognize him. However, one of the bodyguards begins to suspect something and secretly follows him. At the same time, poor Rose is still desperately running from her grandfather's men. That's when she runs straight into Fang, leading to the exact same incident we witnessed at the beginning of the drama. After the accidental kiss, Fang awkwardly tells her to forget everything that happened because it was simply an accident. He then tries to leave as quickly as possible. However, Rose immediately blocks his path. Showing off her impressive kung fu skills, she angrily declares that it was her very first kiss. She admits she feels like beating him up right there, but decides to spare him this time. Instead, she demands that he help her find her missing bag. Fang quickly refuses, saying he can't help her. Hearing that, Rose suddenly bursts into tears like a little child. Crying loudly, she complains that she's the unluckiest person in the world. She hasn't eaten a single thing since morning, she's starving, and now some random stranger has even stolen her first kiss. Fang realizes that if someone notices them together, his reputation as a superstar could be ruined. Left with no other choice, he reluctantly agrees to help her search for the missing bag. After all, the bag also contains the other young man's phone, making it possible to track him down. Fang immediately recognizes the phone inside the bag. It belongs to his best friend, Gu Nan. Knowing exactly where to find him, Fang takes Rose to the hotel where his father's wedding is taking place. As expected, Gu Nan is already there. However, Fang pretends that he doesn't know him at all. While talking normally, he secretly signals Gu Nan to stay quiet and simply hand over Rose's bag. Understanding the situation instantly, Gu Nan returns the bag without asking any questions and quietly leaves. But Fang doesn't return the bag to Rose right away. Instead, he tells her, "I helped you, so now it's your turn to help me." Confused, Rose asks what kind of help he needs. Fang simply tells her to come with him, saying he'll explain everything in a moment. On the way, Fang runs into another young man named Li Yang. The way the two of them look at each other makes it obvious that there's some history between them, although we aren't told what it is yet. A few moments later, Fang brings Rose into the grand wedding hall, where his father's marriage ceremony is about to begin. He even takes her onto the stage. Then, in a low voice, he quietly asks her what her name is. Since Rose refuses to answer, Fang doesn't wait any longer. Instead, he suddenly announces to everyone present, "Today isn't just my father's wedding, it's also my engagement ceremony, and this is my fiancé." Before anyone can react, Fang shocks everyone by kissing Rose once again. The entire hall falls silent. Every guest is completely stunned. They're wondering whether both the father and the son are really getting married on the very same day. Naturally, Rose explodes in anger. She starts yelling at Fang and calls him every name she can think of. But Fang calmly slips a credit card into her pocket and quietly whispers that every penny in that account belongs to her. All she has to do is continue acting as his fiancé for a little while. The moment Rose hears that, her attitude changes instantly. She begins acting like a completely different person and happily announces, "Yes, Fang and I are deeply in love. Thank you all for coming to celebrate our engagement." Her sudden performance leaves everyone speechless. Watching all of this unfold, Fang's father can no longer stay quiet. He asks his son what exactly he wants. Fang simply replies, "Nothing much. Since you're getting married today, I thought I'd get married too." His father immediately understands that Fang is deliberately trying to ruin the wedding. Left with no other choice, he finally gives in and says, "Fine, "I won't get married today. But in return, you won't be getting married either." Fang immediately agrees with a smile on his face, because that was his goal from the very beginning. Everything he did was simply to stop his father's wedding, and his plan succeeds perfectly. Meanwhile, a girl named Xiya, who has feelings for Fang, is burning with jealousy after seeing him with Rose. Looking at Rose's shabby appearance, Xiya openly insults and humiliates her in front of everyone. She even hands Rose a check, hoping to make her look cheap. However, Rose isn't someone who silently accepts humiliation. Pretending that she's about to take the check, she secretly ties Xiya's dress to a nearby table. A few moments later, when Xiya confidently walks away, the entire table tips over, sending everything on top of it crashing onto her. Embarrassed and furious, Xiya becomes the laughingstock of the room. Taking advantage of the chaos, Rose immediately runs away while several guards chase after her. She quickly hides inside a makeup room. Since people are searching for the ugly-looking girl, she washes off all the makeup that had ruined her appearance. Within minutes, the plain-looking girl transforms back into the unbelievably beautiful young woman she truly is. At that exact moment, Gunan walks into the makeup room while searching for Rose. The instant he sees her real face, he freezes in shock. His mouth literally hangs open because he's never seen such a beautiful girl before in his entire life. After finally coming back to his senses, Gunan awkwardly apologizes to her for disturbing her and quietly walks away. Later, we see Gunan talking with Fang. Excitedly, Gunan tells him that he met an unbelievably beautiful girl inside the changing room earlier. According to him, she's the prettiest girl he's ever seen. Fang immediately gives him a suspicious look and asks, "What were you doing inside the girls' changing room? Were you secretly going there to look at girls?" Hearing that, Gunan instantly becomes speechless and quickly changes the topic before Fang can tease him any further. The next day, Rose finally arrives at Menti College, the very place where her parents' love story first began. She feels incredibly excited because she's finally standing in the place she dreamed about. Unfortunately, her happiness doesn't last very long. Her grandfather's bodyguards have already arrived there as well and are searching for her. With only 1 hour left before admissions close, Rose has no choice but to disguise herself once again. She turns herself back into the same unattractive-looking girl and calmly walks right past the bodyguards. Thanks to her disguise, none of them recognize her. Meanwhile, Fang's manager Daniel is still scolding him for everything that happened at the wedding the previous night. Fang, however, acts as if none of it matters to him. While they're talking, Daniel suddenly receives a phone call from a reporter asking about the mysterious girl Fang kissed in public. Thinking quickly, Daniel lies and says that she's simply Fang's assistant. The reporter immediately asks if they can interview her. Without thinking, Daniel casually agrees. But after hanging up, reality finally hits him. Neither he nor Fang even knows the girl's name. So how are they supposed to find her now? Back at the college, Rose settles into her dormitory and meets her roommate, Jing. The two girls get along surprisingly well and become friends almost immediately. Later, when they arrive on campus together, they notice countless girls running excitedly across the college grounds because their favorite idol has arrived. Curious, Rose also wants to see what's happening. However, Jing stops her and gives her a serious warning. She tells Rose that there are 3 boys in this college she should stay far away from. The first is Gunan. Besides being extremely handsome, he's one of the smartest students in the college and also an excellent basketball player. Just one smile from him is enough to make countless girls fall head over heels. The second is Li Yang, the campus mafia. According to the rumors, if anyone dares stare into his eyes for more than 10 seconds, he'll make sure they regret it. And the third is Fang. Although he isn't particularly good at studying, he's an incredibly famous pop idol loved by millions. The moment Rose hears Fang's name, she immediately becomes annoyed. At the same time, Li Yang notices Rose standing behind Fang and jokingly says, "Look behind you, your fiancé is standing there, why aren't you talking to her?" Fang turns around, sees Rose in her ugly disguise, and looks completely confused. He immediately says, "Why would this ugly girl ever be my fiancé?" Hearing that, Rose becomes so angry that she feels like punching him right there. Fortunately, Jing quickly drags her away before she does something reckless. Later, both of them enter their classroom. To Rose's complete surprise, Fang is actually a student in the very same class. Fang is equally shocked to see her there. As if things couldn't get any more awkward, the teacher tells Rose to sit right beside Fang. Determined to tease him, Rose acts as though they're meeting for the very first time. Fang also pretends not to know her at all and completely ignores her. Rose doesn't let him off so easily. She keeps staring at him over and over again until Fang finally loses his patience and asks, "What exactly do you want?" Rose smiles and says, "Why are you pretending like we've never met before?" Fang casually replies, "I already gave you money, so there's no relationship between us anymore." That answer instantly irritates Rose. In revenge, she secretly stomps on Fang's foot. But Fang isn't someone who quietly accepts getting bullied either. He immediately pushes her, causing her to fall onto the floor right in front of the entire class. The whole classroom bursts into laughter. Seeing both students causing trouble on the very first day, the teacher decides to punish them together by making them clean the entire classroom after class. Rose is still furious about what happened in the classroom. She can't believe Fang embarrassed her in front of everyone. After classes end, Fang is instantly surrounded by a huge crowd of female fans, all trying to get close to their favorite idol. Rose, whose anger still hasn't cooled down, sees the perfect opportunity to get her revenge. Without warning, she marches straight through the crowd and starts beating Fang. The poor guy doesn't even get a chance to defend himself. Everyone standing around is completely shocked by the scene. However, instead of learning the truth, everyone misunderstands the situation. They assume that this strange girl must be Fang's biggest and craziest fan. Some students even start spreading rumors online, saying that the same girl who claimed to be Fang's fiancé is now publicly chasing after him. Hearing those rumors, Rose becomes even angrier. She loudly declares, "Forget being his fan. I don't even want to see his face." A little later, Daniel secretly contacts Rose and asks her to meet him without revealing his identity. When Rose arrives at the meeting place and sees Fang standing there, she immediately becomes annoyed again. Daniel quickly explains the situation. To stop all the dating rumors, he has already told the media that Rose is actually Fang's personal assistant. Therefore, she only needs to give one interview, and in return, they'll pay her a large amount of money. But Rose immediately refuses. She proudly says that no matter how much money they offer her, she'll never become Fang's assistant. After saying that, she simply walks away. Daniel is left completely speechless. He had assumed that because Rose looked plain and innocent, she'd be easy to manipulate. Instead, he realizes she's much smarter and far more troublesome than he expected. That night, Rose secretly sneaks into the college office to search for information about her father. While she's quietly looking around, one of the teachers suddenly becomes suspicious and enters the office. Fortunately, Rose manages to hide before he notices her. After the teacher leaves, she carefully comes out of hiding. Unfortunately, she accidentally knocks over an extremely expensive photo frame, shattering it into pieces. The loud noise immediately brings the teacher back. This time, he catches Rose red-handed and demands that she pay for the broken photo frame. The moment she hears its price, she is completely stunned because she simply can't afford it. For a few seconds, she seriously considers accepting Daniel's offer and becoming Fang's assistant, but her pride won't allow it. She refuses to give in so easily. Later, she tells everything to her roommate Jing. Coincidentally, Jing also desperately needs money because she comes from a middle-class family and works part-time just to cover her daily expenses. After discussing their situation, the two girls decide they have to find another way to earn money. The very next day, Rose stands in front of the class and announces that she and Jing are starting a small business. She tells everyone that if any student wants snacks or drinks during class, they can simply place an order with them. In exchange, they'll only charge an extra $2 for the delivery. Unfortunately, nobody pays any attention to her announcement. Seeing everyone ignore her, Rose deliberately turns on a voice recorder to attract attention. Fang quickly becomes irritated by the noise and switches it off. As expected, the two of them immediately begin arguing once again. At that moment, Gunan steps forward and becomes their very first customer. After seeing him place an order, the rest of the class starts ordering food as well. Thanks to Gunan, Rose and Jing's small business becomes surprisingly successful. Even so, the money they earn still isn't enough for Rose, so she comes up with another clever business idea. Since she's Fang's desk partner, almost every girl in the college starts giving her love letters, asking her to personally deliver them to Fang. Naturally, Rose charges each girl for this special delivery service. Watching her turn everything into a business opportunity, Fang can't help feeling annoyed. He wonders how someone can be so obsessed with making money. Later, everyone gathers around the college swimming pool. While the other students happily jump into the water, Fang stays far away from the pool. Wanting to tease him, Rose suddenly pushes him toward the water. Instead of falling in, Fang becomes so terrified that he immediately climbs onto the pool railing to avoid touching the water. Seeing his reaction, Rose laughs so hard that she accidentally loses her balance and falls into the swimming pool herself. The problem is, She can't swim either. She desperately calls out to Fang for help, but Fang is so afraid of water that he completely panics and runs away instead of saving her. Fortunately, Li Yang happens to be nearby. Without wasting a second, he jumps in and pulls Rose safely out of the pool. Later that day, Rose and Jing count the money they've earned from their businesses. Jing feels they've made a pretty good amount, but Rose still thinks it's nowhere near enough to pay off her debt. Left with no other option, she finally swallows her pride and agrees to become Fang's assistant. The next day, when Fang enters the classroom, he discovers yet another one of Rose's business schemes. She has actually rented out his seat, charging girls for the chance to sit beside the famous idol. Fang immediately loses his temper, orders everyone away, and asks Rose just how low she's willing to stoop for money. Now that she's officially his assistant, Fang starts ordering her around non-stop. First, he demands hot water, then suddenly changes it to cold water, clearly trying to make her suffer. Soon, the teacher announces the exam results. Fang has scored the lowest marks in the entire class, leaving Rose unable to stop teasing him. Then the teacher unexpectedly assigns Rose to tutor Fang because she's one of the best students. Hearing this, Rose couldn't be happier since she now has the perfect excuse to bother him every day. Meanwhile, Rose joins a campus club, hoping it will help her learn more about her father. Unfortunately, the club president is Shiya. The moment Shiya sees her, she orders her loyal follower Han to make Rose's life miserable. Han constantly gives Rose exhausting jobs, like moving countless heavy chairs by herself. Even though she's bullied every day, Rose silently endures everything because finding the truth about her father matters far more. A few days later, the college prepares for a special event. Fang rehearses a song, but when Li Yang hears it, he becomes furious because Fang originally wrote it for his first love, Leah. Soon, the event finally begins. Standing backstage, Fang looks unusually nervous, but the moment he steps onto the stage, thousands of fans erupt into cheers. Just then, everyone realizes the microphone is missing. Without wasting a second, Rose rushes to find it. Instead, she catches one of Li Yang's followers stealing it. Realizing it was deliberate sabotage, she beats him up, snatches the microphone back, and races to the stage. Unfortunately, there isn't even a microphone stand, so Rose simply stands beside Fang and holds the microphone throughout the performance. Before singing, Fang tells everyone this song has never been performed publicly because it's incredibly special to him. As soon as he begins singing, the entire venue falls silent. The emotional lyrics leave many audience members in tears. For the first time, Rose sees Fang differently. Until now, she viewed him as nothing more than an arrogant celebrity, but after hearing his heartfelt song, her feelings slowly begin to change. Meanwhile, Li Yang furiously scolds his followers after his sabotage plan fails. That night, Rose quietly sits at her desk and starts drawing Fang's portrait. Without realizing it, she's already begun looking at him differently. Rose also has a secret hobby. Using a fake online name, she writes a comic where Fang is the main character. Since she can't insult him directly, she vents all her frustration by making fun of him in every chapter. But today, something unexpected happens. Instead of mocking Fang, she ends up praising him. She writes that although he's arrogant, he's also handsome and kind-hearted. The moment she posts it, she stares at her phone in disbelief and wonders why she's suddenly complimenting him and why her heart races whenever she thinks about him. Hearing this, Jing immediately teases her for falling in love with Fang. Rose stubbornly denies it, but no matter how hard she tries, Fang's face keeps appearing in her mind. The next morning, Jing looks unusually depressed. She reveals that her father urgently needs an expensive surgery that her family simply can't afford. Hearing this, Rose comforts her and promises to stay by her side no matter what. Later, Rose notices auditions for a new music video. The female lead will receive a huge payment, so she immediately decides to participate for Jing's sake. However, when she arrives in her ugly disguise, the staff completely ignores her. To make things worse, Shiya mocks her, confidently declaring she'll obviously become Fang's heroine. Only then does Rose realize Fang is actually the male lead. For a moment, she considers leaving, but remembering Jing's father, she secretly transforms back into her beautiful appearance and returns. The same staff member who ignored her earlier is now speechless after seeing her beauty and immediately lets her audition. Even Shiya is stunned. The judges are instantly impressed by Rose's elegance and talent, selecting her as the female lead, while Shiya burns with jealousy. Soon afterward, Rose meets Daniel under the fake name Sang Ching. Captivated by her beauty, he keeps complimenting her without realizing who she really is. Secretly annoyed, Rose thinks how differently he treats her now compared to when she wore her ugly disguise. Later in class, Rose catches Fang secretly eating chocolate and junk food. Embarrassed, Fang begs her not to reveal his secret because he doesn't want fans discovering their perfect idol loves unhealthy food. Rose smiles and agrees, but only if he helps with her business. Fang refuses, so she threatens to expose him. Then she says something that makes him pause. What's the point of being famous if you can't even eat what you like? For the first time, Fang feels she's right. Rose promises to secretly bring him junk food and teach him how to stay fit, so Fang finally agrees. Soon, Fang is delivering food orders across campus for Rose's business. Unfortunately, he's terrible at math and quietly slips away after getting confused while calculating everyone's money. Even so, Rose is genuinely happy because his help increases her profits. As a reward, she gives him chips before forcing him into a long workout. Later, the music video shoot begins. Disguised as Sang-ching, Rose arrives at the set, where Gu-nan is instantly mesmerized by her beauty. During one scene, Rose plays the piano so beautifully that everyone is impressed, while Xia only grows more jealous. After filming, Fang chats warmly with Sang-ching. Secretly amused, Rose thinks, "When I looked ugly, you made my life miserable. Now you're practically flirting with me." During another scene, Rose is supposed to kick Fang. She deliberately asks for multiple retakes just to kick him over and over as revenge. She even makes him fetch water repeatedly, just as he once did to her, and this time Fang quietly obeys. Once filming ends, Rose receives $20,000. Without hesitation, she gives every cent to Jing, claiming Fang secretly helped her earn the money and warning Jing not to mention it to him. Jing believes her completely. Just then, several men suddenly kidnap both girls. The mastermind is Li Yang. Furious, he scolds his followers because he only ordered Rose kidnapped. One follower innocently explains that Jing was sitting beside her, so they treated it like a buy one get one free deal. Hearing such a ridiculous excuse, Li Yang can only hold his head in frustration. He apologizes and explains he only wants to lure Fang there. Rose confidently says Fang would never risk himself for her, but Li Yang simply smiles before calling Fang. The moment Fang hears Rose is in danger, he rushes there without hesitation. Meanwhile, Li Yang orders his followers to guard the girls, but Rose easily outsmarts them and escapes with Jing into a nearby cave. Almost at the same time, Fang arrives with Gu-nan. When he asks where Rose is, Li Yang bitterly reminds him of Leah's death. Gu-nan defends Fang, insisting it was only an accident, but Li Yang refuses to listen. The argument quickly turns into a violent fight. Right in the middle of it, Matu nervously reports that Rose and Jing have escaped. Enraged, Li Yang starts beating his own follower. The moment Fang hears Rose is missing, he immediately stops fighting and rushes off with Gu-nan to search for her. Meanwhile, Rose and Jing become trapped inside what looks like an abandoned, haunted house. While searching for an exit, Rose accidentally falls into a deep pit, separating them. Just then, a huge rock comes crashing toward Rose. At the very last second, Fang arrives and pulls her to safety. At the same time, Li Yang remembers Jing is still missing. Worried, he eventually finds her injured and frightened. Without saying much, he carefully helps her out, surprising Jing because she's never seen the feared campus mafia show kindness before. Meanwhile, Fang carries the unconscious Rose on his back. She secretly regains consciousness but keeps pretending to sleep because she enjoys seeing Fang worry about her. Of course, Fang quickly realizes she's awake. He places her on a nearby bench and scolds her for pretending. Only then does Rose finally open her eyes. The moment she notices the injuries on Fang's face, she asks if he's all right. Instead of answering, Fang immediately asks whether Li Yang hurt her. Trying to hide her concern, Rose crosses her arms and replies, "Why should I tell you? Who are you to me?" The two begin arguing again, but during the argument, Rose accidentally hurts her injured leg. Fang immediately scolds her once more, telling her she's far too careless and never knows how to take care of herself. Hearing those words secretly makes Rose happy, because she realizes Fang truly cares about her. Unfortunately, Fang ruins the moment by adding, "Do you have any idea how worried I was about this ugly girl today?" The instant she hears the word ugly, all of her happiness disappears and she immediately kicks him again. This time, Fang doesn't argue. He simply helps her up and quietly takes her home. The next day, Rose says Li Yang deserves to be punished before he causes even more trouble. To her surprise, Fang calmly refuses. He believes he deserves everything Li Yang does to him. Confused, Rose asks what really happened between them and who Leah was. The moment Leah's name comes up, Fang's expression changes. He coldly tells Rose to stay out of his personal affairs. His reaction saddens Rose. She realizes everything between Fang and Li Yang revolves around Leah. To vent her frustration, she writes another comic chapter, making Fang's character so helpless that he silently accepts every beating. Later, Gunan accidentally shows the comic to Fang. After reading it, Fang is speechless and angrily swears he'll make the author's life miserable if he ever finds them. That same day, Fang asks Sang-Ching to meet him. When they meet, Fang reveals he has decided not to release the music video. He explains the song was written for Leah, his first love and close friend. After her tragic death, the song became too painful to hear, so he doesn't want to remind everyone of those memories. Listening to his story, Rose genuinely feels sorry for him. At the same time, she's annoyed because Fang refused to tell her anything before, yet he's now sharing everything with Sang-Ching. Secretly, she thinks, he's just like every other guy. Show them a beautiful face, and they reveal all their secrets. The following day, Xia sincerely apologizes and asks Rose to become friends. Kind-hearted Rose forgives her immediately, and Xia even starts helping with her food business. But it soon becomes clear it was all another trap. A student suddenly becomes sick after eating food supposedly bought from Rose. In reality, Xia secretly replaced the fresh food with expired products, while the victim is only pretending. Soon, rumors spread across campus that Rose sells expired food. Everyone turns against her, destroying her reputation overnight. At that moment, Fang quietly approaches because he wants to help. Still angry from before, Rose grabs his hand painfully and tells him, "You once told me to stay out of your business. Now I'm telling you the same thing. Stay out of mine." Even so, Fang refuses to give up. That entire night, he reviews hours of CCTV footage. Eventually, he discovers a mysterious girl replacing Rose's fresh food with expired products, proving Rose is innocent. Fang tells Gunan to reveal the footage, but makes him promise never to tell Rose who actually found the evidence. Only then does Fang finally fall asleep from exhaustion. The next day, Gunan shows everyone the footage. Unfortunately, the culprit's face isn't visible, so they still can't identify her. Watching this, Xia quietly panics. Even then, she doesn't stop targeting Rose. She assigns her to clean the library alone, then secretly locks the doors from outside. While cleaning, Rose discovers Fang asleep between the bookshelves. Fang explains he fell asleep while studying a history book. When they try leaving, they realize the library has been locked. As they search for another exit, Rose suddenly spots a mouse and screams in terror. Frightened, she jumps onto Fang without thinking. Fang calms her down before calling Gunan for help. A little later, Gunan arrives with Xia. Since Rose's injured leg still hurts, she asks Gunan to help her walk. Hearing that instantly makes Fang jealous because she never asked him instead. Later, Rose thanks Gunan for clearing her name. Feeling guilty, Gunan is about to admit the credit belongs to Fang, but Fang and Xia arrive before he can finish. Gunan invites them to sit together, but Rose refuses, saying she wants to discuss something privately. Instead of leaving, Fang deliberately sits beside her. Watching Rose happily chatting with Gunan makes Fang increasingly jealous, so he starts drinking until he's completely drunk. Only then does Gunan finally reveal the truth. Fang was the one who stayed awake all night, proving her innocence. Hearing this, Rose immediately feels guilty for everything she said to him and quietly leaves. Meanwhile, the drunken Fang absent-mindedly follows her all the way to the girls' dormitory. Completely drunk, he knocks on every dorm room door. At first, Rose thinks some random guy is confessing to a girl, but when she sees Fang holding a microphone, she freezes. As soon as Fang spots her, he starts calling her name through the microphone. Embarrassed, Rose tells him to leave. Ironically, Fang whispers into the microphone, "Keep your voice down. What if someone finds out I'm here?" Then he asks about her relationship with Gunan before pulling out all his money and saying, "Take all of this, just leave Gunan, because you belong to me." The moment he finishes speaking, Fang collapses right on top of Rose. Fortunately, Gunan arrives in time and carries Fang away. The next morning, the entire class is gossiping about the incident, leaving both Fang and Rose too embarrassed to even look at each other. Later, Rose accompanies Fang to another music video shoot. As soon as they arrive, reporters surround them, asking whether they're dating. Before Fang can answer, Rose smiles and says, "Do you honestly think someone like Fang would ever fall for an ugly girl like me? I'm just his assistant." During filming, Fang has to perform inside a swimming pool. The moment he sees the water, he becomes visibly nervous. Although he wants to refuse, the director keeps demanding retake after retake. Watching him struggle makes Rose feel sorry for him, so she volunteers to do the scene herself instead. Fang immediately refuses because he knows she can't swim either. But Rose lies that she's already learned. Just like Fang, she repeats the difficult scene over and over until filming finally ends. By then, all of her makeup has washed away, making her look exactly like Sang-Ching. Realizing someone might recognize her, she quickly covers her face and leaves. Meanwhile, after finishing her part-time job, Jing is surrounded by several thugs. Just then, Li Yang appears. The gang members instantly run away. After everything calms down, Li Yang insists on walking Jing home, and she eventually agrees. The following day, Fang takes Rose to a place that's incredibly meaningful to him, somewhere he's never brought anyone else. Once they arrive, Fang gently asks if she's feeling all right after yesterday's exhausting shoot. Rose is surprised because it's the first time he's shown concern without teasing or calling her ugly. Later, back in class, the two start arguing over something trivial again. Frustrated, Fang wonders when he'll ever understand her. During the conversation, Fang says Rose should learn from Sang-Ching because she's beautiful, elegant, and calm. Gunan happily agrees, praising Sang-Ching as well. Listening to both of them admire her secret identity, Rose decides to tease them. With a serious face, she says, "Don't you think Sang-Ching is a little strange? She suddenly appears, then suddenly disappears. Maybe she's actually a ghost." Hearing that, both Fang and Gunan become genuinely frightened. Soon afterward, the college prepares for a stage play. Fang is cast as the male lead. Xia becomes the heroine, and Rose only gets a minor role. Xia becomes so excited that she overacts every rehearsal, making everyone cringe while Rose struggles not to laugh. Finally, Rose jokingly suggests, "Wouldn't it be better if Fang played the heroine? He actually looks prettier than most girls." Fang is horrified and immediately refuses, but after another argument, the teacher makes an unexpected decision. Fang will play the heroine, while Rose will play the hero. Neither of them likes it, but they have no choice. During rehearsals, Fang suddenly becomes sick, and Gunan takes him home. The following day, Rose immediately asks about Fang's condition. Gunan notices her concern and teasingly asks whether something is going on between them. Flustered, Rose insists they're just friends. Later, Fang's fans ask Rose to deliver a huge pile of gifts to his house. By the time she arrives, she's completely soaked from the rain. Entering Fang's room, she quietly covers him with a blanket while he's sleeping. Fang suddenly opens his eyes and smirks. "Were you trying to take advantage of me?" Rose rolls her eyes. "Don't flatter yourself. I was just helping." Then she points to the gifts and explains his fans sent them. Just as she's about to leave, Fang stops her. Seeing she's completely soaked, he worries she'll catch a cold and tells her to change into one of his spare outfits. A few minutes later, Rose comes out wearing Fang's clothes. The moment Fang sees her, he can't take his eyes off her. He silently stares, completely captivated by how adorable she looks. Just then, someone knocks on the door. It's Xia. The moment they hear her voice, both Fang and Rose panic. Thinking quickly, Fang wraps Rose in a blanket and hides her. Xia enters with her maid and says she came to personally take care of Fang until he recovers. She even offers to replace his blanket, but Fang quickly makes an excuse that he wants to rest alone. Although Xia leaves, she notices a girl's foot with painted toenails sticking out from under the blanket. Suspicious, she looks at Fang. Without missing a beat, Fang casually says, "I like wearing nail polish." The excuse sounds ridiculous, but Xia quietly leaves, still unconvinced. The next day, preparations for the school play continue. Rose has to play the piano, and the moment Gunan hears the melody, he suddenly realizes he's heard it before. Sang-Ching played the exact same tune during the music video shoot. Finally, the truth hits him. Rose and Sang-Ching are the same person. The realization shocks him because he has fallen for Sang-Ching while Fang clearly likes Rose. Later, Gunan asks Fang, "What would you do if someday we both wanted the same thing?" Without hesitation, Fang smiles and replies, "That'll never happen. But if it does, I'll give it up for you." Instead of comforting Gunan, those words only make him feel worse. Soon, the school play begins. They're performing Beauty and the Beast. Thanks to the teacher's decision, Fang plays Belle while Rose plays the Beast. As her entrance approaches, Rose accidentally drinks alcohol instead of water and becomes completely drunk. The play somehow continues. Near the ending, Belle kneels beside the Beast and says, "You'll be all right, I'm here with you." Still drunk, Rose softly replies, "I think I'm going to die, but I love you so much." Before anyone can react, she suddenly kisses Fang. The entire audience is left speechless because the kiss was never part of the script. The next day, after sobering up, Rose remembers everything and becomes both embarrassed and terrified. Hoping to apologize, she visits her teacher's house. Inside, she notices a framed photo of her parents. The sight instantly brings tears to her eyes. When the teacher asks if she knows them, Rose quietly replies, "They're my mother and father." To prove it, she removes her disguise and reveals her real appearance. Since she looks exactly like her mother, the teacher immediately believes her. The teacher explains she and Rose's mother were once close friends. According to her, Rose's father was actually a wonderful man who deeply loved her mother. They lost contact after graduation, so she never learned what happened afterward. Even so, Rose sincerely thanks her for revealing the truth. The following day, Fang still can't stop thinking about the unexpected kiss. Meanwhile, Gunan is choosing a birthday gift for his grandmother. Fang jokes that Gunan still hasn't found a girlfriend before teasing him about liking Sang-Ching. Hearing that only makes Gunan feel worse because he already knows Sang-Ching and Rose are the same person. Later, Rose is visiting her teacher when Fang and Gunan unexpectedly arrive. The moment she sees them, she quickly hides her face. Fang explains that Gunan wants Sang-Ching's advice for confessing to a girl. Before he can continue, Gunan suddenly says, "Actually, it's Fang." Then he teasingly adds, "He's fallen for a crazy girl from our college." After Gunan leaves to buy his grandmother's gift, Fang awkwardly denies everything before finally admitting the truth. He says, "Whenever I'm with her, I feel comfortable. She's always arguing with me, but she's really kind. Someday I'll introduce the two of you." Hearing those words secretly fills Rose's heart with happiness. To avoid exposing herself, she quickly leaves and changes back into her ugly disguise. As she walks past a cafe, she unexpectedly meets Fang and Gunan again. Thinking quickly, she lies that she was looking for a part-time job. Instead, Fang invites her to join them, and Gunan also invites both Rose and Jing to his grandmother's birthday party. That evening, the girls arrive at the celebration. The moment Xia sees them, she starts insulting Rose and Jing because of their ordinary backgrounds. Of course, Rose immediately fires back, leaving Xia speechless. Just then, Fang walks over and smiles at Rose. "You look really beautiful today." For a moment, Xia thinks the compliment is for her, but she quickly realizes Fang was talking to Rose. Later, Gunan introduces another rich girl named Tegna. Like Xia, she's arrogant. The moment she notices Rose wearing the same dress, she becomes furious. A few moments later, Tegna deliberately bumps into Rose, causing juice to spill onto her own dress. Using that as an excuse, she and Xia begin humiliating Rose and demand an apology. Before Rose can respond, Fang steps forward. "I know she didn't do it on purpose," he says firmly, "so she doesn't need to apologize." Then he takes Rose's hand and walks away, leaving Xia and Tegna frustrated. In the next scene, Rose is called to the teacher's office. When she arrives, she's shocked to find her grandfather waiting there. Seeing her ugly disguise, he loses his temper and orders her to leave college immediately. But Rose refuses. She explains that returning home means being locked away again, while college has given her freedom for the first time in her life. Her grandfather refuses to listen. Just then, Rose notices a poster for the annual beauty competition. An idea immediately comes to her. She promises to return home if she loses, but if she wins, she'll be allowed to stay. Confident she'll never win in her current appearance, her grandfather accepts the challenge. Later, when Rose registers, Han laughs at her, saying it's a beauty contest, not a comedy show. Xia also mocks her and confidently declares she'll win. No matter how much they're laughing, Rose refuses to give up and submits her application anyway. When Fang hears about it, he also tells her not to participate, which only annoys Rose. A little later, Rose asks Gunan for a private conversation. The moment Fang hears those words, he instantly becomes jealous. Afterward, Fang secretly asks Gunan what they talked about. Smiling, Gunan teases him before explaining Rose needs a song for the competition and asked him to help compose it. Later, while Rose and Gunan rehearse together, Fang quietly shows up. After changing into her rehearsal outfit, Rose notices Fang staring at her and says, "If you don't like watching us practice, you're free to leave." Hearing that only makes Fang even more jealous because she chose Gunan instead of him. The following day, Xia arrives with unfortunate news. Since Gunan is the president of the competition committee, the rules don't allow him to help contestants. Rose immediately realizes Xia waited until the last moment on purpose, but she has no choice except to accept it. With nowhere else to turn, she finally asks Fang for help. The moment she does, Fang secretly becomes delighted, though he hides it. "Why should I help you?" he asks. Rose quietly replies, "Because if you don't, you might never see me here again." Not understanding what she means, Fang stubbornly refuses. Instead of begging him, Rose simply lowers her head and walks away, leaving Fang completely confused. Soon, the day of the annual beauty competition finally arrives. Before it begins, Rose's grandfather secretly asks one of the judges to make sure she doesn't win. During the question and answer round, someone asks Rose why she entered a beauty contest when she clearly isn't beautiful. Rose confidently smiles. Beauty isn't judged by someone's face. True beauty comes from the heart. Her heartfelt answer leaves everyone speechless. Fang is the first to applaud, and soon the entire hall erupts into applause. Even Rose's grandfather becomes emotional and quietly feels proud of how much she's grown. Next comes Rose's musical performance. Unfortunately, without proper rehearsals, she becomes extremely nervous. Just then, someone quietly sits at the piano. It's Fang. Seeing him instantly fills Rose with confidence. She never expected him to come after refusing to help. Together, they deliver a beautiful performance. When it ends, Fang smiles and says, "I don't care who wins this competition. As far as I'm concerned, you've already won my heart." Those unexpected words leave Rose completely stunned. Although everyone praises her performance, the result has already been decided. Because of her grandfather's influence, Shiya is declared the winner. Watching Rose lose, Fang quietly comforts her. Shiya notices Fang paying more attention to Rose than to the winner. At that moment, she realizes that although she won the competition, she still lost where it mattered most. Later, believing she must keep her promise, Rose packs her belongings and prepares to leave college. Jing asks why she's leaving, but Rose only smiles without revealing the truth. Just then, her grandfather calls. To her surprise, he tells her she no longer has to return home. She can stay at college on one condition. Her real identity must remain a secret. The moment Rose hears those words, she happily tells Jing she's staying after all. That same night, Daniel calls Sang-Ching and reminds her about tomorrow's music video shoot. The call instantly frustrates Rose because keeping both identities hidden is becoming harder every day. The following morning, the college announces a student trip. According to a campus legend, any couple who goes on the trip together will stay together forever. At first, Rose laughs at the story, but after hearing several examples, she slowly begins believing it. Unfortunately, the trip is scheduled on the exact same day as her music video shoot with Fang. A little later, Daniel calls Fang. Although Rose can't hear the conversation, she mistakenly assumes the shoot has been canceled. Her assumption turns out to be completely wrong. Soon afterward, Daniel calls Rose and explains that the filming hasn't been canceled. Only the schedule has changed. Because Fang already has a college trip that day, Rose gets annoyed after learning the shoot was only rescheduled. Fang notices her expression and asks what happened. Rose snaps that everything is happening because of him, leaving Fang completely confused. Soon, the photo shoot wraps up. Since Rose's ride hasn't arrived, Fang invites Sang-Ching to join the college trip. At first she refuses because she's disguised as Sang-Ching. If Sang-Ching goes, how can Rose appear there too? However, Fang keeps insisting, so she finally agrees. The real reason isn't Fang at all. She simply wants Gunan and Sang-Ching to spend more time together. After arriving, Fang suddenly realizes Rose is nowhere to be found. Worried, he immediately starts searching for her. Rose quickly slips away, changes back into her ugly disguise, and appears before him. The moment Fang sees Rose, he finally relaxes. Rose claims she got lost and hurt her foot. Instead of simply feeling relieved, Fang lightly scolds her for being so careless. After returning to the group, Sang-Ching has mysteriously disappeared. Fang immediately blames Gunan for letting her wander off and goes searching for her himself. Once again, Rose uses the restroom as an excuse, changes into Sang-Ching and returns. Then Rose disappears again, and Fang starts searching for Rose. Poor Rose becomes completely exhausted from constantly switching between two identities just to protect her secret. After this continues for a while, Gunan suddenly calls Rose by her real name. Rose freezes. Realizing he already knows, she tells him the entire truth. She explains that her real appearance is the unattractive one, and that she became Sang-Ching only to investigate her father's past. She also asks him never to tell anyone, especially Fang. Without hesitation, Gunan promises to keep her secret and assures her he'll always stand by her. A little later, Gunan returns to Fang alone. When Fang asks where Rose is, Gunan lies that she got tired and fell asleep, asking everyone not to disturb her. As evening approaches, everyone prepares to hike up the mountain to watch the stars. However, Fang doesn't want to leave Rose behind. After Gunan and Sang-Ching reassure him that she'll be fine, Fang finally agrees. While climbing, Rose suddenly slips down the slope. Without hesitation, Fang jumps after her, but loses his balance, causing both of them to tumble down together. Everyone watching from above panics. Fortunately, they survive with only minor injuries. Rose calls out for Gunan, but they've fallen too far for anyone to hear. Seeing her frightened, Fang gently comforts her, reminding her that she's not alone. As the night grows colder, Fang quietly wraps his coat around Rose. Trying to lighten the mood, he jokes, "This place is actually pretty romantic, but it would have been even better if Gunan were here with you." A little later, while checking Sang-Ching's injuries, Fang suddenly blurts out that he likes her. Rose is completely stunned. At that exact moment, Gunan quietly arrives but hides nearby after overhearing them. Then Fang continues, "But the person I truly like is Rose. She's stubborn and a little crazy, but whenever I'm with her, I forget I'm even a celebrity. I don't know when I fell in love with her." Hearing this confession fills Rose's heart with happiness. For the first time, she realizes Fang loves her for who she truly is, not for her appearance. Fang then apologizes to Sang-Ching, explaining that Gunan likes her far more than he ever could, and hopes she'll give Gunan a chance. The moment Gunan hears those words, he accidentally makes a noise. Both Fang and Rose immediately catch him hiding nearby. Feeling awkward, Gunan quickly pretends he heard nothing. The following day, Fang asks Jing where Rose is. Jing replies that she's sick and resting in her dorm. In reality, Rose isn't sick at all. Ever since hearing Fang's confession, she's been too happy and shy to face him. But Fang has already decided to see her. Disguising himself as a girl, he sneaks into the girls' dormitory. Even the security guard fails to recognize him. When Fang reaches Rose's room, she quickly hides under a blanket because she'd already told everyone she was sick. Fang walks inside and smiles. "I heard you were sick, so I cooked this meal myself." Hearing that melts Rose's heart. She happily enjoys every bite. Just then, Jing notices Fang's strange appearance. Although he doesn't recognize him, he's certain this girl is suspicious and alerts everyone. Within moments, all the girls begin chasing Fang through the dormitory. Luckily, he escapes. Later, one of Rose's teachers shows her an old newspaper. According to the article, both of Rose's parents died together in a tragic car accident. Rose is completely shocked because her grandfather had always claimed her father abandoned her sick mother before she died. Unable to accept the truth, Rose breaks down in tears. At that moment, Fang, Gunan, and Jing arrive to comfort her. Through her tears, Rose reveals that discovering the truth about her parents was the only reason she came to this college. Now that she finally knows everything, she believes there's no reason to stay. The three of them repeatedly persuade her not to leave, and eventually Rose agrees. Later, while organizing files, Gunan accidentally notices Rose's birthday in her personal records. That night, Jing secretly brings Rose to an open field before suddenly disappearing. Seconds later, all the lights turn on. To Rose's surprise, all of her friends are standing there wishing her a happy birthday. It turns out Gunan organized the surprise after learning it was her birthday. Rose is overwhelmed because it's the first birthday she's ever celebrated with friends. Everyone spends the evening happily together. As his gift, Fang gives Rose a beautiful locket and tells her to always wear it because he wants it to stay with her wherever she goes. Rose happily accepts it. The following day, Xia learns Fang personally celebrated Rose's birthday. Jealous, she even tries to attack Rose. However, Fang steps in and fiercely scolds Xia. Humiliated, she storms away. Just then, Li Yang comforts her. After hearing everything, she also begins resenting Rose. Later, Li Yang confronts Rose and warns her to stay away from Fang. While arguing, she notices Fang's locket around Rose's neck and angrily snatches it away. Rose immediately struggles to get it back, but accidentally falls down the stairs and gets injured. Li Yang never intended things to go that far and quietly feels guilty. When Fang hears about it, he immediately confronts Li Yang. The two begin fighting so fiercely that both end up badly injured. Meanwhile, Rose and Jing arrive at the scene. Just then, a nearby gas cylinder starts leaking. The smell suddenly triggers Fang's traumatic memories. He remembers the accident where he and Leo were trapped underwater. Terrified, Fang completely panics and forcefully pushes Li Yang away. She crashes into Jing, injuring him as well. Unable to control himself, Fang runs away. Meanwhile, Jing and Li Yang are taken to the hospital. Gunan arrives and reveals that nobody has been able to find Fang. Since Rose witnessed Fang's reaction, she asks why he's so terrified of water. Gunan finally tells everyone the truth. Years ago, Fang, Gunan, Li Yang, Xia, and Leah were childhood friends. One day, Fang insisted on driving Leah home, despite everyone warning him he wasn't ready. During the drive, the brakes failed. The car crashed into the sea. Fang survived, but Leah's body was never found. Ever since then, Fang has blamed himself and developed a deep fear of water. After hearing the story, everyone becomes even more worried and searches everywhere for him. Meanwhile, Fang is sitting alone at the special place he once showed Rose, silently blaming himself for Leah's death. Suddenly, Rose remembers Fang once saying he always comes there whenever he's overwhelmed. She rushes over. Sure enough, she finds him sitting alone. Rose gently sits beside him and comforts him, saying everything was just an accident, but Fang refuses to believe it. The story then shifts into a flashback. Young Fang insists on driving Leah home despite Li Yang's objections. While speeding, the brakes suddenly fail. Within seconds, the car crashes through the barrier and plunges into the sea. Fang is rescued alive, but Leah is never found. Back in the present, Rose gently tells Fang he never caused the accident on purpose. She says he's one of the bravest people she knows because he always faces his pain instead of hiding from it. Fang quietly replies that Leah was once the most important person in his life. Then he adds that now there's someone else who's just as important. Although he never says her name, it's obvious he's talking about Rose. Looking directly at her, Fang asks her to promise she'll never leave him. Without hesitation, Rose smiles and promises she'll always stay by his side. Meanwhile, at the hospital, Li Yang asks Jing why he tried to protect her during the fight. Jing honestly admits he simply wanted to keep her safe. However, Li Yang coldly tells him she never needed his help and warns him never to interfere in her life again, because they belong to completely different worlds. Hearing those harsh words leaves Jing heartbroken. On the other hand, Fang returns to his company. As he walks through the office, he overhears his manager telling Daniel that Fang's next photo shoot will be underwater. Daniel immediately objects because Fang has a severe fear of water. However, the manager insists that completing the shoot will boost Fang's popularity, while refusing it could damage his career. Just then, Fang walks in and calmly says he'll do the shoot. Daniel is stunned. Later, back home, Fang fills a bathtub and forces himself to put his face underwater. The moment he does, terrifying memories of Leah flash before his eyes. Panicked, he quickly pulls himself back out. At that moment, Rose arrives. After waiting outside for a while, she enters the bathroom and finds Fang trembling. She scolds him for trying to face such a terrifying fear alone instead of asking for help. Fang explains that the underwater shoot is only 7 days away, leaving him little time. He then asks, "Do you really think you can help me overcome my fear in just a few days?" Without hesitation, Rose confidently replies, "Yes." Starting the next day, Rose patiently trains Fang. Day after day, she helps him face his fear until, on the final day, she takes him to a lake. Even standing near the water fills Fang with fear. Rose gently tells him, "Pretend this isn't water. Imagine it's a stage and you're singing your favorite song." Fang slowly begins singing. While he's distracted, Rose suddenly steps into the lake and pretends to drown. At first, Fang freezes, but the moment he sees Rose struggling, he forgets his trauma, jumps into the lake, rescues her, and brings her safely back to shore. Exhausted, both of them lose consciousness. The scene then cuts to the hospital. When Fang wakes up, the first thing he asks about is Rose. Daniel hands him his phone. Rose has left a message. "When you jumped into the water to save me, you looked incredibly handsome. My grandfather suddenly became sick, so I had to leave. I hope your photo shoot goes perfectly." Reading it finally puts Fang's mind at ease, though he's disappointed he couldn't see her. Watching Fang worry so much about Rose breaks Xia's heart, and she quietly leaves. Meanwhile, someone secretly steals important data from Fang's laptop and hands it to Li Yang. What she plans to do with it remains unknown. Soon, the day of the underwater shoot arrives. Thanks to Rose's training, Fang completes every scene perfectly. Daniel can hardly believe that the same man who once feared water is now performing underwater with confidence. In the next scene, we see Rose visiting her grandfather. Surprisingly, he was never sick. He only lied because he knew Rose would never return home otherwise. Just then, Fang calls and says he's already in her hometown, asking for her address. Rose is caught completely off guard. Seeing her panic, Grandpa takes the phone and gives Fang the address of a nearby village instead. After hanging up, he tells Rose that if she truly wants to know Fang's feelings, she must follow his plan. A little later, Rose picks Fang up in a small village van. Although Fang hesitates at first, he finally gets in and unexpectedly enjoys the ride. Rose shows him around the countryside before deliberately pretending she can't find her house. Eventually, she takes him to Grandpa's home. The old house shocks Fang because he's never lived in such simple conditions. As soon as they step inside, a wooden beam suddenly falls. Grandpa appears, pretending to be angry, and immediately blames Fang for damaging the house. Poor Fang nervously promises to repair everything himself. As a result, he spends the day doing household chores he's never done before. Rose feels bad watching him struggle but continues following Grandpa's plan. Meanwhile, back at the college, Jing carries a huge pile of supplies. Li Yang scolds him for working so hard right after leaving the hospital. Still hurt by her earlier words, Jing coldly tells her to stop interfering before walking away, leaving Li Yang frustrated. Back in the village, Grandpa teaches Fang how to farm. Having no experience, Fang mistakes cow dung for soil and picks it up with his bare hands. The moment he realizes what he's holding, his horrified reaction is priceless. After finishing their work, they return home and notice thick smoke coming from inside. Panicked, they rush over. Rose quickly explains that she accidentally started a fire while cooking fish. Relieved to see she's unharmed, both Fang and Grandpa finally calm down. A little later, Rose's childhood friend Zhao Yi arrives. Following Grandpa's instructions, she immediately clings to Fang. Watching another girl stay so close to him makes Rose extremely jealous. Grandpa smiles and remarks that Zhao Yi is beautiful while Fang is handsome, saying they look perfect together. Rose becomes even angrier. After Zhao Yi leads Fang away, Rose asks Grandpa why he's doing this. He calmly explains that if Fang truly loves her, no other girl will tempt him. Meanwhile, Zhao Yi continues staying close to Fang. Unable to bear it any longer, Rose walks over, grabs Fang, and pulls him away. Smiling, Fang asks, "Is Zhao Yi really your best friend?" Rose simply smiles because she already understands. The two spend some quiet time together. Eventually, Fang gathers his courage and confesses, "I love you." Rose is left speechless. Seeing she doesn't reject him, Fang slowly leans in to kiss her. But at the perfect moment, Zhao Yi suddenly appears and says Grandpa is calling him. With no choice, Fang leaves. Afterward, Zhao Yi tells Rose she deliberately insulted her in front of Fang, calling her ugly and ordinary. Instead of agreeing, Fang defended Rose, saying she was the most beautiful girl in the world, and even scolded Zhao Yi for speaking badly about her best friend. Hearing this fills Rose's heart with happiness. In the following scene, Fang prepares to return to Korea to film a new music video. After saying goodbye, he heads to the airport. Once he leaves, Grandpa smiles and tells Rose she chose the right man. The scene then cuts back to the college, where Rose has returned. Soon, Li Yang privately confronts her. Having discovered Rose's real identity, she warns that unless Rose stays away from Fang, she'll expose her secret. When Rose refuses, Li Yang threatens to destroy Fang's career instead. She says Fang's fans would never accept him dating his ugly assistant and that everything he's built would collapse. After telling Rose to think carefully, Li Yang walks away. Meanwhile, Fang repeatedly calls and texts Rose, but she ignores every message. Heartbroken and confused, Fang returns to China the next day and goes straight to the college. He asks why she's been avoiding him. Rose lies, saying her phone battery died. Fang doesn't believe her. After a long silence, Rose forces herself to say, "Our relationship can never become what you're hoping for. I only see you as a friend." Those words completely shatter Fang's heart. Without saying anything, he quietly walks away. The moment he's gone, Rose breaks down in tears. She loves Fang just as much, but Li Yang's threats leave her no choice. The following day, another disaster strikes. People discover that one of Fang's new songs closely resembles another artist's work. Almost immediately, countless people accuse him of plagiarism. Even some of his own fans turn against him. Rose knows Fang would never steal anyone's music. While reading the online comments, she notices that many hateful posts were made at exactly the same time from a single account. Determined to uncover the truth, she traces the account to an internet cafe near the college. Meanwhile, reporters surround Daniel asking if Fang copied the song. Daniel firmly denies the accusations and boldly announces that Fang will release a brand new original song within 3 days. The problem is, Fang had no idea Daniel was going to make that promise. Now under enormous pressure, Fang desperately begins composing. However, no melody satisfies him. 2 days pass, leaving only 1 day before the deadline. Daniel grows increasingly worried. At the same time, Rose and Gunan investigate the internet cafe. They discover that Li Yang's two friends regularly use it, making them suspect Li Yang is behind everything. They confront her directly. To their surprise, Li Yang openly admits it but calmly asks, "Do you have any proof?" Since they have no evidence, Rose and Gunan can only leave. 3 days finally pass. Everyone gathers waiting for Fang's new song. But when he doesn't appear on time, people immediately begin criticizing him again, convinced he plagiarized. Li Yang secretly enjoys every moment. A few minutes later, Fang finally arrives. After apologizing for the delay, he firmly declares that he never stole anyone's song. He explains that he failed to write anything during the first 2 days, but on the 3rd day, he couldn't stop thinking about the person he loves most. Those feelings inspired his new song. The moment Rose hears this, she realizes he's talking about her. Fang then performs the song, moving everyone in the audience. Everyone applauds. Everyone except Li Yang. After the performance, Fang asks Rose to come outside. Now that everything has been cleared up, Rose decides to confess her true feelings. She gathers her courage. But before she can speak, someone suddenly rushes over, saying Fang's furious fans have surrounded Li Yang after learning she caused the plagiarism scandal. Fang immediately runs to help her. While protecting Li Yang, he gets beaten as well. Eventually, the crowd leaves. Confused, Li Yang asks why he saved her after everything she'd done. Fang simply smiles. "Because you're still my childhood friend." Those words finally break through her hatred. Filled with guilt, Li Yang lets go of her resentment and gently holds Fang's hand. Watching them reconcile makes Rose genuinely happy. Later, Rose meets Gunan and tells him she's finally ready to accept Fang's feelings. However, she still doesn't know whether to reveal her true identity or continue hiding it. Gunan advises her to tell Fang everything. He explains that if Fang learns the truth from someone else, he'll be far more hurt because she'll have lied to him all this time. After thinking it over, Rose decides she'll tell Fang the next day. That night, Rose drinks far too much. After she gets completely drunk, Gunan safely walks her back to her dorm. Unbeknownst to them, someone secretly photographs the two together. The following morning, those same photos are sent to Xiya along with the message, "The job is done." It turns out the entire setup was part of Xiya's plan. Meanwhile, Li Yang surprisingly shows up at the library and sits beside Jing. When Jing tells her the seat belongs to Rose, she ignores him and takes it anyway. As Jing prepares to leave, Li Yang stops him. She sincerely apologizes for how she treated him and asks him to help her prepare for the upcoming exams. Seeing that she's genuinely trying to change, Jing forgives her and agrees. In the next scene, we see Gunan spending time with Rose. Unable to hide his feelings any longer, he finally confesses. Rose is shocked. However, Gunan immediately smiles and says he's actually happy because the girl he likes is about to become his best friend's girlfriend. He tells her that whether she's Rose or Sang-Ching, he'll always remain her friend. Finally, he asks if he can give her one hug as a friend. Rose happily agrees. Unfortunately, Fang arrives at that exact moment. Not only does he see them hugging, but he also overhears their conversation. After already seeing the photos Xiya showed him, Fang completely loses his temper. He angrily asks why Rose trusted Gunan with her real identity, but never trusted him. "Does that mean you trust Gunan more than me?" Rose desperately explains that Gunan is only her friend. Just then, Xiya deliberately makes things worse by accusing Rose of playing with both Fang's and Gunan's feelings. Rose ignores Xiya and continues trying to calm Fang, but Fang is too angry to listen and walks away. Later, Rose tells Jing her biggest secret. She reveals that she's actually Sang-Ching. Instead of getting angry, Jing calmly accepts the truth. Meanwhile, Gunan goes after Fang and repeatedly explains that nothing is happening between him and Rose. But Fang refuses to listen. Unable to hold back, Fang punches Gunan several times. Gunan never fights back. He finally admits that he once liked Sang-Ching, but gave up those feelings after realizing Rose and Sang-Ching were the same person, because he knew Fang truly loved her. Unfortunately, Fang walks away before hearing the rest. Meanwhile, Daniel contacts an online artist named Taobin. Taobin is actually Rose's third hidden identity, where she draws comics about Fang. Nervous about being recognized, Rose covers her face before meeting them. The moment Fang sees her, she seems strangely familiar. Daniel explains that Fang wants Taobin to illustrate his new album. While they're talking, the necklace Fang once gave Rose slips out. The moment Fang sees it, he realizes Taobin is actually Rose. Before another argument begins, Daniel asks where Taobin is. Fang points at Rose and says, "She is Taobin." Daniel bursts into laughter. Eventually, Rose agrees to create the album artwork, and they officially make a deal. In the next scene, the exam results are announced. Jing notices Li Yang has scored surprisingly high marks. We then see a short flashback. Jing once promised that if Li Yang achieved good grades, he'd give her a romantic novel she wanted to read. Back in the present, Jing quietly leaves the novel for her, assuming she forgot about it. Just then, two students begin bullying him. Their insults bring Jing to tears. At that moment, Li Yang arrives. She immediately scolds and beats up the boys before chasing after Jing. When she catches him, Jing sadly says, "I know we're from different worlds, so I've never crossed the line." Hearing that breaks Li Yang's heart. She hugs him and tells him they're not from different worlds at all. Then she shows him the novel, revealing she's already started reading it. Meanwhile, Rose hears a legend about the college's clock tower. According to the story, anyone who makes a sincere wish there can turn back time and fix their greatest mistake. Rose immediately visits the tower. She wishes she could go back and tell Fang the truth before everything went wrong. At first, she wishes to return to the day they first met, but then changes it to the moment Fang confessed his love. Suddenly, someone says, "You made 2 wishes. You'll probably be sent back to when your grandfather locked you in your room." Rose screams in panic. A second later, Fang bursts into laughter. He admits he was teasing her the whole time. Embarrassed, Rose blames him. When Fang asks why, she finally blurts out, "I wanted to tell you I love you." The moment Fang hears those words, he pulls her close and kisses her. In the next scene, Fang receives a call from one of his childhood friends, inviting him to a reunion at the beach. He secretly plans to introduce Rose as his girlfriend. Unknown to him, Li Yang arranged the gathering to reunite Fang and Xia. Fang invites Rose and she agrees. The next day, everyone enjoys themselves at the beach. Xia watches Fang and Rose together with growing jealousy. That evening, Fang officially announces that Rose is his girlfriend. The news completely shatters Xia. She reminds Fang of the promise he made to stay by her side forever. Fang calmly replies that he only promised to protect her as a sister. Nothing more. Heartbroken, Xia locks herself in her room. When everyone finally gets inside, they discover she has swallowed a large number of sleeping pills. Fang immediately rushes her to the hospital. Although Li Yang tells Rose not to follow, Rose quietly goes anyway but stays out of Fang's sight. Before leaving, she softly says goodbye. Just then, Rose receives a call from her grandfather. This time, he's genuinely very ill and asks her to come home immediately. Fang accidentally overhears the conversation. He hugs Rose and tells her to take care of her grandfather without worrying about him. Soon afterward, Rose returns home. Her grandfather's condition worsens, and once he recovers slightly, he asks Rose to take over the family business because he doesn't know how much longer he'll live. Rose says she'll think about it. Meanwhile, Li Yang emotionally manipulates Fang. She reminds him that Leah died because of him and asks if he wants Xia to suffer the same fate. Later, Xia's farewell letter and her mother's desperate pleas leave Fang feeling completely trapped. At the same time, Rose begins managing the family business. The responsibility quickly becomes overwhelming. One day, she calls Fang to ask about Xia. After hearing everything, Rose says Xia should understand that love can't be forced. Instead of agreeing, Fang quietly defends Xia. That immediately upsets Rose. She points out that she's been away for days, yet he never once asked how she was doing. After a long silence, Fang quietly says he wants to break up. Then he tells her he's going to marry Xia. Rose is left speechless and hangs up. On the other side of the call, Fang breaks down in tears. This is the last thing he wants, but he believes he has no other choice. Later, Fang tells Xia he has ended his relationship with Rose and promises to stay beside her if she never harms herself again. Xia is overjoyed. Fang looks completely miserable. The next day, Gunan learns about the wedding and becomes furious. He reminds Fang that Rose is the only woman he's ever truly loved. Fang quietly admits he's only doing it because he can't bear watching Xia keep hurting herself. Meanwhile, Rose's grandfather notices how depressed she has become. Believing he's responsible, he apologizes. Rose insists everything is her own choice, but Grandpa can see the sadness she's hiding. Finally, he tells her she's free to live however she wants. Soon afterward, Fang and Xia's wedding begins. Xia couldn't be happier. Fang, however, looks completely lifeless. Just as the ceremony is about to begin, Rose suddenly arrives. She walks straight toward Fang and grabs his hand. At that moment, Fang finally reaches his limit. He publicly admits that he has never loved Xia and only agreed to the marriage because he was forced. He says the only woman he has ever loved is Rose. After saying those words, Fang takes Rose's hand and leaves the wedding. Watching everything collapse pushes Xia into an emotional breakdown. In the next scene, we see Jing being bullied again. Li Yang immediately rushes over, scares the girls away, and finally confesses her feelings. She promises to change her life if Jing accepts her. Touched by her sincerity, Jing happily agrees. The two officially become a couple. Meanwhile, Rose returns to college in her beautiful appearance instead of her ugly disguise. The entire campus is stunned. The same students who once mocked her now admire her beauty, and several boys begin flirting with her. Watching this makes Fang incredibly jealous. Later, while playing basketball, Fang notices a huge crowd near the school gate. Confident they're waiting for his autograph, he proudly walks over, only to discover they've all gathered to see Rose instead. Even worse, students begin asking Rose for her autograph. Completely jealous, Fang asks her to wear her ugly disguise again. Rose laughs, but when Fang admits he simply can't stand other guys staring at her, she teasingly agrees. Later, the couple enjoys another adorable date and even gets scared together while watching a horror movie. Meanwhile, Gunan jokingly complains that he'll probably stay single forever. In another scene, Li Yang visits the cafe where Jing works and jokes that he bought the entire place. When Jing gets upset, he laughs and says he'd rather work there with her instead. That immediately makes Jing smile. Meanwhile, Fang shows Rose one of his father's old sketchbooks filled with drawings of his mother. Inspired by the artwork, Rose decides to pursue her dream of becoming a professional comic artist. Fang fully supports her dream. Elsewhere, Han encourages Xia to move on. By accident, the two suddenly kiss. After teasing her, Han kisses her again, and this time Xia doesn't stop him. It's obvious the two are beginning a new relationship. Meanwhile, Rose officially joins a comic publishing company. At the same time, Fang receives the opportunity of a lifetime. A company in the United States wants to hire him. Although thrilled, he doesn't want to leave Rose behind. Meanwhile, Rose is offered a transfer to Japan to improve her artistic career. She also struggles because she doesn't want to leave Fang. Later, Rose tells Fang she's planning to reject the offer. Just as Fang is about to reveal his own opportunity, Rose receives a notification announcing his move to the US. Hurt that he never told her himself, she quietly walks away. After thinking it over, Rose realizes she can't stop Fang from chasing his dream. She calls and encourages him to go without worrying about her. Even then, Fang can't bring himself to feel happy. The next day, the two meet one last time before his departure. Rose quietly says goodbye. The following morning, Fang heads toward the airport. Unable to bear it, Rose rushes there to see him one final time. At the same time, Fang returns to the college hoping to see Rose, only to learn she has gone to the airport. Meanwhile, Rose searches everywhere but can't find him. Heartbroken, she heads back. Suddenly, she hears someone singing her favorite song. She looks up, and standing in front of her is Fang. Seeing him brings a huge smile to her face. After sharing one final emotional farewell, Fang leaves to begin the next chapter of his life. A few days later, we see everyone's future. Han and Xia are happily dating. Li Yang has completely changed thanks to Jing's love. Although everyone else has found happiness, Rose and Gunan are still feeling lonely. Gunan jokingly accepts that he'll probably stay single forever. But just then, Fang suddenly returns. The moment Rose sees him, she runs into his arms with the brightest smile on her face. Watching them reunite makes Gunan feel even more single than before. Just then, Xiao Yi arrives. The moment Gunan sees her, his expression changes completely. It looks like Cupid has found one final target. And with every couple finally finding their happiness, the drama comes to a heartwarming ending.